Hey guys, alrighty. So we had quite the impressive little day today. We had a really nice gap up overnight. We had that non-farm data come in. We got our standard reaction to the upside. However, instead of just trending to the upside, we actually had a really large rejection. So as you can see here, we had a nice bearish engulfing candle. We have our first closure under the daily 8 EMA since back here on October 31st. And not only that, but you can see our range here is clearly being rejected to the upside. Now, with this closure below the 8 EMA, and this is also our lowest closure since here on November 29th, we are still sitting on, and this should be right about there, we are still sitting on critical double demand at 454 and 454.6. If we break through this, and I actually think there is a potential that overnight we could gap down through this support, I am going to be looking at 450.74 supply, which is also going to be where the daily 20 EMA support is. That sets us up for a really nice drop to the downside. Now, if this plays out like we are still in a range here, then we are going to get a move back up and we will target 456.6 and eventually maybe back up to 459. Now, it's tough to say because, you had a day like this where we had another massive failed breakout, but then you saw, I believe we actually gapped down and then we moved up. Let's see here. We had close at 454.61, open at 455.148. So we had about $1 gap down that day, and then we pushed up. So, it's hard to imagine that we are going to break this range, but all the signs are pointing that it is going to happen. We'll see if it plays out overnight, though. Now, when we go over to ES here, we kind of had a little bull channel support going here, but that has since broken. Today broke that. So same thing here. We had our nice range, and I just hate how TradingView's stuff gets ever so slightly moved. There we go. So we had our range here. We had a nice attempt, and it looked like we couldn't even actually break through 4,600 today. We got so close. But basically, once we opened it was just straight sell-off all day long. Honestly, this is one of the most impressive bearish days that I have seen from the market in a very long time. We've had some trendish days where, by end of day, we get a recovery, but this was not that. This was just a straight drop, ride the EMAs down. Basically, just a straight 46-point drop here on ES futures. So what I'm looking at here is we did close below 45.59 demand. Now that, if you look back, since we took it on November 22nd, that has been critical support. You can see we basically had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Today would have been 8 days of bouncing over that. However, you can see we closed under it. This is also a massive doji reversal candle here. This sets up as a potential little inverted hammer candle here. Potential shooting star that could send this crashing down here. So if we can break through 45.48 demand right here, then likely our next target is this 45.13 to 45.26 double demand, which is also the 20 EMA. That's basically where I am going to be targeting and looking for our leg down to tomorrow. Now, same thing, we go over to Qs here. I was kind of monitoring a little bit of a bear channel here, but we'll play it out right as this right here for you guys here. So looking at this here, you can see there is a nice potential little V-top that is forming here. But I think what's most important to note about today is we came up, we touched our double supply and range resistance at 390.1 to 390.8. We hard rejected, dropped all the way down, closed under first support at 388.8 and then under second support at 385.16. This closure is our lowest closure since actually since the day before CPI, because technically this day closed at 385.33 and we closed today at 385.05. So lowest closure in almost 3 weeks basically. Now we did not get the bearish engulfing candle, but at this point it is a bear channel that is forming here. I'm going to look for another test of the daily 20 EMA support at 383.5. If we break through that, I think the odds of a gap fill into probably Friday at 377.32 and 378.17 are extremely high. That is from close right now. That would be about a $7 drop, or about, let's see here, 2% total. So, you know, today, for instance, we dropped $5. So that's basically another day and a half of today, and we are there. That is my target right now. That would also be the daily 50 EMA support right here. It should round up to about that level by the time we get there. Now going over to NQ, same thing here. We have our range. I'm trying to monitor, a bear channel here that I'm trying to monitor. So we had a tighter one that we wicked through, and then now we're back in it. So you can see here, nice little, again, possible little V-top that's forming here. I think this daily here is far more bearish. And actually, I did talk about this yesterday, that the potential for a daily double top drop was there if this failed to get through the 8 EMA. Now, I never would have thought we would have gone all the way up to 16,038 almost and touch this double supply range and then come down, but we did. So really this is a nice rejection off the daily 8 EMA. So this is 2 days after losing it on Monday. This is 2 days in a row now that we have rejected the 8 EMA. We should by all means minimally test 15,775 overnight, but I would not be surprised to see us come down to 15,676. If not, all the way down here to 15,388 to 15,408. That is from prior to CPI. This is our CPI day right here, or sorry, right here on the 14th. So I'm looking for a move down into this area right here. Again, bear channel opens up potential for a drop to 15,623, so another about 200 points of dropping. But I do think we're in a bear channel. I do think we might see a little relief into end of day or end of night tonight, but I mostly am bearish. And I really think now we are going to turn this 15,870. We might backtest it overnight, but I think we're going to turn that into strong resistance, and I do favor a downside move tomorrow. Now, the VIX is the one thing that continues to just kind of be, I would say, I don't want to say useless, but I would say unhelpful. So here, you know, we got a little bit of an uptrend here, not enough to really even care about it. But what was interesting about today is the VIX only closed up 0.78%. Now, more importantly, if you watch the VIX at all today, it trended down with SPY almost all day, realistically until the power hour where we got the big drop. We had the VIX dropping all day. You know, you can see it's closed pretty close to its high. And even on the data this morning, when we had that non-farm data come in, the VIX was just a super tiny little doji. It was basically sitting at 0%. It didn't do a whole lot. So kind of the way I'm starting to read this here is we have a double demand here off 12.45 and 12.61. We have held this very, very nicely, but we continue to reject the upside. This, much like this day here on November 29th, is setting us up for a big move to the upside on the VIX. I think if we can close the VIX over 13.08, preferably over 13.46, so that would be about, let's see here from close, that's about 1%. That's only a 4% day in the VIX. That's an easy day. This could turn into a massive sell-off to the downside. Honestly, the hardest thing I had to believe today that sellers were going to continue to drop this lower was the fact that the VIX did not rally with markets dropping. It made me have a little bit more trouble trusting the rejections. You know, I only played 2 longs intraday today. I played the overnight non-farm, got a nice almost 20 point win there. But I had a trouble trusting the shorts today just because we're so conditioned in this market that everything is a reversal. You know, almost every day for the last 2 weeks, we have seen this weakness at open, consolidation, and then an end of day move up. Today was probably one of the first days that we just had a straight bear trend all day long. So, you know, I'm looking for that VIX breakout. That would be confirmation of the downside. And I honestly think that we are probably going to get it tomorrow. So if you kind of zoom out here, you can see that this is kind of how the VIX behaves. It does this consolidation and then we get a big move up. So if you look at this consolidation down here before the move up, that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. So we'll see if that plays out tomorrow or not, but that is what I favor, is a bit of a bearish day tomorrow. All right, guys, I hope you guys had a good day trading today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.